All right, guys. Beyond in the top left side of the map, it's the grand finals of the Kung Fu Cup, weekly number 6, Hero in the bottom right. And I am looking forward to these two because it's been a knife fight the last few times these two have fought. Now, one thing BYUN struggled with against Clem recently, where he was beating the heck out of Clem and then started losing to him, was Clem was really picking BYUN apart with triple prong, the twister we call it. You know, the prism in the back, stalkers on the front, zealots run in here. And he was really finding these like weak spots where BYUN was playing perfect games against Clem. And then just, it's always the prism somehow weaves through. And suddenly there's things microing in 3 places at once and he couldn't quite keep up. Now, Hero is more of a frontal puncher rather than a twister. Obviously, he'll do the twister as well, but Clem was a bit more like, you know, safe, picking away, and then he suddenly explodes into that multi-prong. Hero, of course, is scarier for BYUN to play against because he could just go at any moment. His storm timings are brutal. You never know when he's going to do a storm timing. The SCVs all get pulled off. This is already a bad opening for BYUN. Hero's probe really annoying BYUN to start this finals, and he's lost so much mining time, and his barracks was delayed about 5 seconds. You could see because he didn't pull an SCV early enough. He needed to pull 2 SCVs when the probe first came in, didn't pull 2 early enough, so when he'd swapped the SCV off, it was a bit late to start the next one. So, nice opening for Hero. That being said, Hero goes core before Nexus. Not as greedy as he could have been with this harassment. If he'd gone Nexus before core, Hero would be, I think, in an even better position. As it is, though, he can rally an early Adept across and just kind of get some vision and harass him. I'll never forget the French guys years and years ago in Heart of the Swarm telling me they thought most Protoss players were stupid because they were all big Terran players and fanboys. I think Funker was a big Terran player, and he's like, I'm pretty sure it was Funker. He was telling me, he's like, Protoss players are so stupid. He's like, look at Hero. Look at this guy. And I'm like, what? He's like, every game he sends the probe across, and it's the most annoying thing ever. And it just regens its shields, and it keeps running around, and it messes your build up, and it just annoys the opponent. He's like, every Protoss should do this. He's like, Hero's the only one. And I was like, you know, Funky, you're not wrong. That is like really annoying. I know at pro level they should be able to handle this without getting too flustered, but I've seen enough players get flustered. He's forgetting SCVs right now. Speaking of which, BYUN's missing SCV production while swapping his add-ons. And the barracks was already delayed. Like, yeah, he's got a Cyclone coming out now, but it does feel like his build's already a little flustered right from the beginning. When you've got, you know, BYUN sometimes struggling with wrist pain and stuff. Every time you force him to react to you, you disrupt him a little bit. You make it that little bit harder for him. So I always love how adamant, like Funker was like angry watching Hero's probe harassment every game. You could feel him as a guy who on the ladder at the time would like struggle so much with really annoying Protoss probe harass. And he was like, they should all do this. And I was like, I love you, Funker. Funker's like actually he was the one of the OG best observers we had for many years in StarCraft 2, and he's also just a great commentator. Even in English, his commentary is fantastic. In French, I've heard it's obviously even better as his native tongue, but so much passion. And those guys are actually doing, I believe they've announced a new Maestros of the Game. For those who didn't watch, in about, I think it was September, October last year, they did a Maestros of the Game, a tournament in Paris, where they crowdfunded. They got a big bar venue, which they packed with like 300 people paid to go there and watch there was an online tournament leading into it, and then the top 4 players came to Paris and played live in the venue. There was so much cheering. The opening show for the show was it was like literally them rapping. I think it was Funker rapping. Was it Coca? They're actually like really musically talented. They've done some amazing covers and stuff. There was literally like a StarCraft rap show at the start. Like it was really well produced. And then the players were so close, surrounded by this like chanting fans. It was such a fun event. And I can't wait for the next one. And they let us all remote cast in other languages since they're doing the main broadcast in French as well. So it's so awesome of them to share the love with that. Can't wait for the next one. Hero unfortunately went out in the top 4 there, but he said, it's okay. My wife's come with me. So she said, I want you to win. Obviously, you know, I support you. I love you. But if you lose, we get to go explore Paris a day early and get an extra day of touring around the city. So it's a win-win. And he did lose in the semifinals. So his wife was very happy, and he said, obviously I'm upset, but you know what? It's it's all right. We get a bit more time exploring Paris. Now, this is a very greedy third, guys. We've got 2-gate Twilight Charge coming in. It's not going to be ready in time. Forge as well. Bit too defensive, and he misses the move out. But it's not that many Marines. Shield battery is not quite ready, but it is building. That battery coming up might save the day. He's got a lot of stalkers, but there's 4 in the main base. He sees the move out now, and he realizes, uh-oh, I've let you slip by. But does he know where the army is? No, he does not. And BYUN here shoving quite hard. He's got 3 barracks coming up, but of course he hasn't started stim or shields because he's been committing to this push right here. The Stalker Sentry in trouble. Hero getting pushed back right now. BYUN with the Tanks Marine Cyclone there pushing on the north side. We've got a gateway coming in behind the Nexus, but that Nexus is already taking massive damage. He's going to go forward and try to engage this. The Stalkers will blink in. The Widow Mine does pretty big damage here. The Marines in the Cyclone focusing down a lot of these Stalkers. That Cyclone, unfortunately, hitting a sentry and not really killing it for a long time, but I still think this is pretty good damage, right? I mean, you just killed a lot of Stalker Sentry, and the Cyclones and the Marine there will push back these units. He could keep going with the Siege Tank, but with Charge about to finish, BYUN needs to make a decision. He either goes hard right now or he goes home. He's kind of umming and ahhing. I don't really like it. I kind of wish he pushed this ramp as well, as this is a much more awkward rally point where these Stalkers are just going to find pickoffs, but Hero not watching, does let those Stalkers go. No, he doesn't. Same time, BYUN gets forward on this side. Another sentry does go down. No, it doesn't. It barely survives. These Stalkers picking off those Marines. He's getting ready to flank on that Siege Tank, but the third Nexus will fall. He needed to take this Nexus out. Having a third fully saturated for Hero this early was going to be a massive, massive problem. Stim is on the way. 5 barracks building. Third command center is almost halfway done. Stalkers and probes coming. He's going to try and fight this. The tank gets a big shot on the probes. And that Siege Tank absolutely hammering those units. The Stalkers do blink on top. He's going to pick up the Marines and try to fly forwards with 4 Marines and a Cyclone. I think his best bet is probably to just hide in the dead space and boost away a bit later on. That's going to force some units to stay at home, which means the counterattack of 6 Stalkers not too scary, especially if you siege another stank. Another stank. Gosh, look at my Protoss bias, calling this a stank. Stanky Siege Tank. I guess Siege Tank? Stank? Actually kind of makes sense. Anyways, if he puts another tank on the high ground, he's got Marauders coming out. Stim and Shields is almost done. Stalkers are going to lose map control very soon, and the lack of mining on that third is very problematic for Hero. That being said, this is Hero, and he's worked his way back from much worse situations in the past. This medevac could drop up here, but I think just boosting north to the corner and escaping is probably the best method. I think he's just going to wait until Hero's distracted elsewhere on the map before he does that, though. Bunker does come up, worried about charge timings. Tech Lab and a second reactor goes up, so 3 Tech Labs, 2 reactors on the barracks. A turret to just kind of limit the mobility of a Warp Prism's potential. Pig stank as a Zerg unit. Is it, though? They're stanky. Colossus does start. Hero, he's only on 3 gas. Can't afford the extended thermal lance. It's like the Observer just died there, did it? Yeah. 4th Nexus goes down for Hero. But he's leaning into the mineral focus here. He does start extended thermal lance. Stalker's trying to harass. He desperately needs to get to 8 gateways. He's only going to 7 right now. Like, he needs to probably go 9 gateways if he's getting a 4th mineral line up. And his main is about to half mine out. These mineral patches all disappear at 8.5 minutes. Watch Hero pull 2 probes at a time, even though these mineral patches are about to run out. You guys know my thoughts on that. Very inefficient. It's a really bad habit that Hero has. He should have just pulled all the probes immediately to the 4th, because now he's going to probably forget to transfer the rest of them for several minutes. Now, BYUN's playing a bit more passive than I thought he would. I thought we'd be seeing a push already from BYUN, guys. He does scan, takes out an Observer, does claim map control, but I feel like he could maybe be actually pushing here. And he's thinking about it, but no, he's moving back defensive. BYUN kind of turtling here. Seeing that 4th base has got to make you want to go. Come on, man. I feel like grab your whole army and push. Honestly, I feel like the Natural's the best target. But it looks like BYUN's going to play a bit cautiously. And caution has been the name of the game of his TvP lately. And that can be good. It can also be bad. +2 attack starts, which means there's no money for a Colossus, no gas. So he starts a Warp Prism there. Only 7 gateways of Zealots being able to warp in here. Army is up here in the north. Hero's Zealot counter comes in, but the Marauders will easily deal with that. Only going to catch 2 or 3 of the Zealots, though. And this army's kind of small. Feels like BYUN took so long to get this army across the map. His reinforcements really far behind. The tanks are not targeting the Colossus. No scans there. Awkward fight for BYUN. I think this was a very awkward fight for BYUN. It's not too terrible for him, but mostly Zealots is what he killed. And he's given up his tanks. It to me feels like it was just a little lackluster. Extended Thermal Lance now kicks in. +1 armor kicks in for Terran as well as a second starport. Feels like Hero's been given a little bit too much time to recover after the early damage. This drop's going to try and go in. Ooh, he baits the blink and then doubles back. Nice move. And this time, gets in, gets the 4th base. Got to pull away, though. Doesn't get all the probes, so it's a little annoying, but still a good trade here for Terran. He's going to spread his units out. Just doesn't want the Marines to go into the Colossus. He goes forward! Oh, good hot pickups, though. Oh, standing and fighting in front of a Prism and Colossus is always awkward, but I think 8 probe kills overall. You've killed the 4th as well. Your own 4th command center is on the way. As long as BYUN can find the time to make 2-2 upgrades, it's going to be okay. Cyclone and the Marines try to drop there, just keeping Hero distracted, but that will be going down. Of course, +2 armor starts first. Classic BYUN. Please remember to start +2 attack, my man. BYUN's got this one looking very confident for him so far, and I always like that after seeing the probe tilt him in the early game. I always think, oh, please don't break. BYUN has these inflection points where sometimes he crumbles under pressure and sometimes he steps up big. It looks like one of these series where he could be stepping up big. +2 kicking in right now. It's a nice little +2 timing. I don't think he's got energy for Guardian Shield just yet. About 10 seconds from it. Colossus taking big damage to the EMP Viking. The Marauder's pulling back between the choke points. I think he's got to lift the command centers and just fight in the open. Does BYUN, but his Vikings are a little far back, and he doesn't have that many Vikings to begin with. The Prism's very exposed. Marines redrop there. He's trying to distract Hero as best he can. Trying to bait some mistakes out of the Protoss. Only 7 medevacs, and they're dry on juice right now. The Colossus poking forward is crazy, man. But the Vikings were a little bit delayed. Medevac finally goes down on the other side. Hero does have a 4th base rebuilt in the south. I'd like to see BYUN just spread his units and go, honestly. I think, yeah, I don't know. The Viking micro needs to be good here. All those Colossus taking big damage. Good hot pickups, though, for Hero. Hero doesn't have any Zealots here. Just why his army's just looking so vulnerable. He's down 55 supply. Marauder's overstimmed, though. BYUN's kind of getting chipped at. That's why I'm saying he might need to just force a big engagement. The Vikings should be good against these Colossus, but if the Stalkers can focus a few of them down, you can see their Hero gets one of the Vikings. All 4 Colossus somehow still alive. Trades another Stalker for another Viking. The Prism Micro has been absolutely delectable, and Hero is doing so much with so little right now, but 2-2 upgrades are getting closer for the Terran. Medevac gets taken down by the Blink forwards. The Disruptor's there, ready to shoot a ball at the retreat, or at least to cover the retreat, I should say. Colossus going down now, though, and I think BYUN taking care of the Colossus should be able to finish the rest of this army off. Great patience for BYUN, man. I thought he was going to get frustrated by the way he was getting chipped away at. But he gets the Prism, does lose a few Vikings. He's going to pull back here once again. He's so respectful of Hero. Doesn't want to overextend. He gets Planetary up on the 4th. 2-2 is now finishing for him, which means he'll retake the upgrade advantage that he had much earlier in this game. The Disruptor gets caught in the open. Nice play. Hero's just got dregs. He just doesn't have any real army. That's going to be GG. It's just the numbers that BYUN has built up over the course of this game and the 5,000 resource advantage in the trading will really let themselves be known. Looks like he spotted these Zealots, I think, with the floating factory, perhaps. It's interesting. Splits his army nicely. I think the way those Stalkers were leading him south, he just kind of knew. He knows how Hero works, and indeed, he does take him down. Let's just double check. Did he see something up there? Or was it just incredible game sense for BYUN? That was good game sense, wasn't it? So look at this, guys. So he comes down here, and he's kind of like, wait, you're running away. And it's like his instincts kick in. And he kind of No, he saw it. He just saw the Prism. Oh, he saw the Zealot there. He just saw the Zealots. He did see the red dot on the minimap and immediately responded. Really good vision awareness for BYUN to deal with that. GG, well played. Nice game 1 for BYUN in this grand finals. All right, guys, BYUN in the top right side of the map. Hero in the bottom left is going to go for a proxy. Is it 1-gate proxy or 2-gate proxy? It's 1 gate into going home. Okay, so this is like going to be like a max packs, right? Like this is one where you build a gas and then like a second pylon and a cybercore at home, and you build like 2 Zealots and a Stalker from here, probably. BYUN is not going to be going command center on the low ground just yet. And double gas build probably matches up pretty well against this. It depends on a bunch of variables, of course. Of course, the Max Packs idea here is to build a Cybercore. You don't have any units building at home, so you may need to recall a Stalker home if the if the Reaper goes straight across the map. But there's a big question. Big question around that. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm so curious to see what happens. Yeah, Zealot starts. You don't really need to chrono just yet, but he will. I guess he wants to chrono 2 Zealots out here. And looking around here with the probe, checking that he's not getting proxied himself. That's interesting. Respecting the fear of the proxy. Pig, what did you do to your leg? Oh, I stacked it. I've been running. I've been doing my big running challenge at the moment, and I was Really tired, didn't eat enough the other day, and was not picking up my feet very much, and I snagged my toe on something and went head over heels and scraped up both of my palms and my right knee pretty badly. Took the skin off them completely. Not quite a de-gloving. It's not like the muscle came off, but definitely the skin completely came off. Good amount of blood spray, lots of dirt and grass ground into my flesh, which was fun to pick off with tweezers. It's not great. They're healing at the moment, but it has been a pain in the butt, especially like if I game too long as well. You know, I can't really put too much pressure on my palm, but Command Center does get cancelled. That's why you pick your feet up when you're running, guys. I was so close to catching the fall as well, but I was just a bit too far forward by the time I got to there. Oh, dude, he had to cancel the bunker. Oh, was that the right call? I mean, I guess he's got a Cyclone building anyway. Did he Reaper Grenade the Zealot across the wall? Whoops. Whoopsie daisies. Oh, gosh. At least he's done a good job with his SCV micro so far. I think he can pull all these SCVs back. The Marines are trying to fight the Stalker. The Stalker's taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, the Zealot gets one SCV. Only one. Could have been a lot worse, honestly. Dude, BYUN's microed this really well. The SCVs will go back to repair. Ooh, the Stalker's trapped. The hero recalls the trapped Stalker. That this Cyclone's still going to get the red hit point one. The Zealot will go down as well. You can block with the healthy SCVs because they can tank 2 hits. It's only the 3rd hit that kills them. That was actually really cool. The BYUN handled that very well. That being said, his command center is not started, and there is a Nexus finished for hero, and he's going to do an all-in. The second barracks tells you he is not going to macro, guys. He's going to make tanks. He's going to make Marines. 3 barracks of Marines. Oh, he's going to make a starport. Okay, so he might just make, like, a medevac out of it. Maybe swap over for a Banshee, but probably just make that. Now, these Stalkers coming in is very dangerous. BYUN is like, where is the gateway? Because he knows the gateway's somewhere out on the map, and he's expecting it to be a little bit closer than that. But, oh, the Cyclone gets caught. Does it? No, it doesn't. Really good micro here by BYUN. Hero as well, splitting his units up. He knows if he can kill the Cyclone, he can run away from the other units, but Cyclone, oh, wow. BYUN gets 2 Stalkers down. Excellent play. Dude, I love how he checked almost everywhere for the gateway, but hats off to Hero putting it so far back. Now, Hero's going charge first, not blink, because he knows how urgent the situation is. And it looks like tanks, 3 Marines, and a medevac building. Usually just 1 medevac into lib is a good way to do it. SCVs are going to come out to repair the Cyclone. Now, the reason BYUN's out here is he wants to deny vision. So Hero, he doesn't know it's 1 base all in. He might suspect, but it's kind of a crazy choice that BYUN's gone for that here. Oof, this is really interesting. What could Hero have done to win that last game? Ooh, I'll analyze that after this one. It's a tough one. He was pretty behind once his third, when his third base got ransacked as bad as it did. I think it comes down to the early game more than anything. Very hard to get back in games like that. Could have gone heavily into disruptors and a 4th gas maybe. Big push here for BYUN, guys. Only 1 tank so far though. Oh, there's the other tank inside that medevac. And charge is not ready, which means he gets a beautiful position on the front. Yes, your gateways are coming out. You got 4 gateway charge coming in, but now you can't warp in because of the pylon going down. And he's going to force the fight already. These units are trapped behind the natural. The probes are forced to pull. Stalkers do come down. Charge does kick in. The SCV is repairing that tank, though, very nicely. The Marines doing okay. The Zealots are doing all right, though. And actually, dude, is this going to be a hold? I think it is. At what cost, though? This is such a weird spot because it's a 1 base all in from Terran. So if you hold, you're meant to win. But you just lost 13 probes. So there is a real possibility right now that you die to the next wave. Because Hero kind of has to probe up. He's not. He's just building Stalkers right now. He doesn't even have blink on the Stalkers. The single Marine drop goes to the back door to distract. Tank on the outside is a real problem. You do not want to lose that siege tank. But I think as Hero, you squeeze a few probes out, right? But Hero's going to try and attack right now. You got 2 base versus 1. He's going to YOLO it. The tanks are on the front. Oh my gosh. He drops the Zealots on the high ground. This is a crazy, crazy choice. This is the sort of choice that makes Hero our favorite Protoss player to watch. He's so unpredictable, so dangerous. He does get both tanks. The Viking's going to hunt the Prism down. Don't think he could recall that. Even if he did it now, I think the Viking would clear it. Was it a good trade? Well, he killed the tanks, but I don't know if overall it was a good trade. The good thing for Hero is you can transfer probes and just go full mineral zealot only now, right? This Liberator is kind of an annoying unit though, because you can't really afford many Stalkers, right? You got to leave a Stalker or two at home. I think the dropship with the Marine inside maybe got F2'd back and died. The Observer sees it's a one base all in. BYUN's going to start a command center now. Very delayed, but I think he realizes how crappy the position is for Hero as well. Now, Hero's chronoed a bunch of probes out. He's going to have to go full zealots from here now. He sees the army moving out. I mean, he's got a cut. I'm surprised he probed as much as he did. Lib comes in, gets one probe in a bit of mining time. Stalkers will push it away. He's got to make zealots, and he's got to make them now. Hero sees the move out. It's a pack of Marines, a tank, and a landed Viking. Charge zealots should be good against this, and the Stalker pushes that Lib away, gets massive damage on it. That is excellent. I think BYUN will scan the Observer. He knows he's being watched. He scans it. He's got more tanks, more Marines coming in. The problem is without stim, without shields, and with such a small Marine count, zealots are really good. Pulling back is the right call here for BYUN. Similar worker counts on both sides. What an absolute poop shoot of a game this is. Bit of a shit show. Third Nexus. Interesting. So Hero is realizing, well, can't really go gas. Let's actually take a third, because the main's going to mine out soon. You have a third mineral lineup. You can maintain this zealot production, but you don't have upgrades. Like, you don't have +1. You don't have Blink. Terran doesn't even have stim yet. But the problem now is if you get stuck on zealots, because BYUN's been pushing forward and posturing as if he's about to attack for the last few minutes, Hero doesn't know if he can probe, doesn't know if he can take gases, doesn't know if he can go storm, and shields is done. The Marine count is legitimately scary, because now they can volley down the zealots pretty quickly, especially if they're not in Guardian Shield. When stim kicks in, that's going to get even scarier. This nation does go down to the Viking and the Lib. Prism's going to come in. Nice zealot drop. And I really like Hero trying to go... He's trying to go Robo Bay, interestingly, as well. Zealots trying to fight the SCVs. The SCV is going to do a bit of micro. Trying to engage this. BYUN, I think, feels like as long as he doesn't die here, it's fine. He's kind of all in on the front anyway. That Lib just shot his own siege tank. Unnecessary, mate. That siege tank massively damaged from his own Lib shot. The Zealots and Stalkers finish it off. Oh no! BYUN loses all of his units except one siege tank. He still has the Marines and the Vikings though, which are a very real problem here for Hero. But that was kind of crazy, man. Zealots coming in right now. Zealots are going to try and deal with it. Stalkers from behind as well. But the Zealots just not high enough number to deal with the Marine and the landed Viking down there. The tank is repairing. It finally does die. The Prism does pick up there. Remember, the Viking already went down, so the Prism can kind of dance away from this. Stim is almost ready. The Marines, though, gathering their forces. The single medevac with its healing, very valuable. And I think when Stim comes in, if he gets on this mineral line, that's huge. Not to mention, tank sieging up here is massive. The tank moves right in, and he says, mate, I am in control of your natural. Hero cancelled his third already to try to desperately get some more money, but BYUN doing an excellent job of making this. Oh, he gets the Prism! Yes, the tank goes down, but he gets the Prism. The Immortals taking big damage, as are the Zealots, and those probes coming in a bit too late to the party. Beautiful play here for BYUN, turning a chaotic early game into a 2-0 advantage. I gotta say, just mad props to BYUN for his early game defense at the wall-off. The SCVs pulling back one at a time. Reaper Grenades a Zealot inside, but it actually kind of split the damage up for Hero, and it allowed him, that early defense was impeccable. He lost so few SCVs, didn't lose any of his buildings. I was really impressed. GG, well played. All right, guys. BYUN in the top left side of the map, Hero in the bottom right. Twitch chat has, I think, nailed that last game. They said, that Liberator shot on the tank baited Hero to overcommit. It was a 300 IQ play. BYUN definitely did it on purpose. I agree, Twitch chat, YouTube chat. You guys are geniuses. You see, I didn't realize. I thought it was a mistake. BYUN, though, much smarter than me, working on an entirely different level. You can see Hero here is trying to speed mine, guys. He's trying to use shift clicks so those workers don't decelerate as much. Obviously, whenever he's doing something else, he doesn't do it as much. His clicks aren't the most accurate with these. I think he could actually shift click the probe a little bit better, but it's especially these two mineral patches in the middle. You can see because they're further away, it's trying to make the probes be a bit quicker so they don't spend as much time running back and forwards. Whereas on these closer patches, it doesn't really do much because you can see there's like no crossover on this patch anyway. They got to wait. Like they kind of perfectly kind of trade places almost as it is. these middle patches. You can get a little bit of extra minerals from that. This is something I wouldn't advise most players do. Cyril doesn't do it. Greatest player of all time says, if the game ever gets to the point where you have to do that every game, I'm probably quitting. He says, like, if I feel I need to do that to get like 3 extra minerals in the early, I don't know what the number is, right? I don't know if anyone really knows exactly, because it kind of depends how well you execute it. But it's a couple of minerals, and feels it's a bit silly. Reactor first here. I kind of love it because it's got that kind of old man energy. Like, I ain't gonna do this dumb thing to get 3 extra minerals. This is stupid. This is stupid. Obviously, you only do it in the early game. No one does it past the very beginnings of the game. But Clem, Hero, Max Pax, Rainer, all big fans are doing it to get a little boost. Little boosty boost. All right, so he's going to go reactor into factory. The factory is not even hidden. If that probe moves to the left, he can confirm there's a factory. But since I think he already saw 2 gases, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I think he's probably just assuming it's double gas anyway. It is double Reaper out of that factory with the reactor. I'm actually going to use someone else's observing, guys, since my hand is a little bit sore. I'll swap back to my own camera if needed. Good thing about casting replays of tournament games is there's a bunch of different casters who were casting live and observing, and I can go to any of their camera views, see what they were looking at in the moment. So BYUN goes for the expansion on location, guys. About 2.5 minutes, not the earliest expansion. Building 2 Reapers at a time is, of course, very expensive with that early reactor first. Twilight Council has started up. Shield battery on the natural as well. It's going to send that early hallucination out to see what BYUN's up to. 2 Reapers are going to come in. Stalker Sentry easily push this back. Widow Mine to open up for BYUN. So a couple Reapers, Alien. And interestingly, you know what BYUN's doing, guys? Look at this. I just immediately go back to my own observing, don't I? BYUN just checking all the corners. He knows he's playing Hero. Hero's a trickster. Hero's a cheeky guy. He just wants to check everything, so he's kind of really making sure there's not some sneakiness going on. Second gateway is nice and early. Blink does start. If you guys really struggle with early pushes in PvT, and you play Blink especially, but any opening, but especially Blink, I would really focus on your second gateway timing. So I actually, with my Oracle build, try to get my second gateway down by 2 minutes 50. But most pros, it'll be more about 3:10, 3 minutes, somewhere around there. Any later than 3:10 on that second gateway, there's a lot of early, like, 1 tank, 1 cyclone pushes, bunch of Marines that are very hard to deal with. All right, third next is super early. I mean, it's good for BYUN to see, though, right? You know what you're up against. You're like, okay, he's being a greedy D-bag. He's going to try and just take a third, use hallucinations to see if I'm doing an all-in. So do you go super aggressive? Ooh, he fakes the cloak here. Makes interference matrix. He'll cancel that before it finishes, guys. It's actually a Liberator. So Mind Drop, Liberator, Marine Tank Push, classic build. With no Stalkers in position. Wow, so far out of position. Hero finds himself in a little bit of trouble. BYUN should save at least one of these Widow Mines. Thinks about saving both, but realizes he'll take too many hits on the medevac, so he's just going to save the one Widow Mine in the back. Thinks about going back in, but that Widow Mine's already fired, so he realizes he can't. And he's already pushing down the left side. I think setting up an ambush on this ledge is good. It's a little dangerous, though. 2 probes, mining time, distraction is fine. Widow Mine drops are so mid to me. Widow Mine drops are terrible for most players. It's a really good tool for a pro because they cost a lot of APM, which pros have in abundance, and it's a minimal resource investment that can do big distraction, big scouting. You know, it forces a response, forces the opponent to deal with it for a minimal investment because APM doesn't cost too much. The reason Widow Mines suck for average Joes so much is it costs a lot of APM, and non-pro gamers are starving for APM, right? We're too slow, so usually when average Joes do Widow Mine drops, if they don't catch the opponent not looking and they don't do big damage, they've wasted a ton of APM while messing their macro up, and they got very limited gains. But look at this, guys. Liberator's going to hit the main. Widow Mine drop will hit the natural. He'll come around this side and probably drop it on the ledge. And this Marine tank army has snuck across the map completely. Hero completely blind here. Army comes out of the fog. Charge is not ready. He's trying to go up to 5 or 6 gateways, but he's not there just yet. Good Stalker micro. Picks off 3 Marines already. But that pylon is exposed. These Zealots are getting hammered right now. Widowmine drop goes in the natural. There's a Liberator in the main. He blinks in the main to get the Liberator. The Widowmine goes off, kills 4 probes there. He goes back to mining here as well, but at the third base at the same time. You can see the battery's gone down. He's lost all the Zealots. It's just 4 Stalkers and a Sentry. BYUN's going to push in range, realizing, look, I got to get sieged up before you do this. Interestingly, he didn't rally across the map at all, so he's got nothing guarding his tanks, and that allows the Stalkers to just blink on top, take care of both siege tanks. Hero might be fine here. That Hellion, though, could be a real problem for him. Those Marines are doing nothing. They're damaging units, but nothing else. Unupgraded Marines, not the best. Also, did he just get another Widowmine shot? Looks like he's about to, getting at least some lost mining time there. 15 probes end up going down. The Hellion felt like killed like 6 of those on its own, which really made that okay for BYUN. Got a third command center and stim on the way as well. And no gas mining for a long time here for Heroes. So Heroes build massively disrupted, but he's on 3 bases and he insta-chronos probes. My instincts tell me Protoss is ahead here. On the other hand, I look at the work account and I'm like, I don't know, BYUN's macro was pretty smooth. Hard to read this situation. He's going 2nd Engineering Bay Armory, but hasn't actually started the +1 attack on the 1st Engineering Bay yet. BYUN's macro is far from perfect. There's all these like little inefficiencies, but compared to most players, when you're handling that sort of 3-pronged pressure for the last minute and a half, I'd say his macro is pretty damn clean. 1-1 upgrades start at the same time. Third command center is finished. He scans an observer. There's another observer directly behind it, almost taunting him, saying, I know you can see me. Come and scan me, big boy. I feel like Hero's trying to bait him here. Yeah, he's 100% trying to bait him. Hero is such a D-bag, man. I love it. He's like, he purposely moves it through the scan and then starts putting it in and out of surveillance mode. Obviously here he wanted to check. Wait, oh, you're moving out? And that time BYUN does get him. And this might be a fake push for BYUN. Shows himself moving towards him. So the last thing Hero sees is an army coming out. And he's like, oh god, okay, Stalkers go out on the left to slow down the push. Zealots go down the right. Little does he know, BYUN's just chilling. BYUN's floating his 3rd out in a moment. He's got 2 tech labs, a reactor, another tech lab and a reactor there. And it's just a very solid play. Scan comes down, sees a 3rd. Doesn't really see too much, just a Zealot. And it is going to be Colossus, Zealot, Stalker, Sentry. Up against Bio. Does BYUN spot this sneaky boy? It's hard to see there. Obviously, he's going to be on lower graphics settings than me, and often players will zoom in and out where it becomes a bit easier to see where that is. Marine gets cleaned up on the left. Another observer goes down. It's costing you a lot of scans, but BYUN does not like being watched. I think BYUN is probably the biggest anti-pervert in this matchup out of all the Terran pros. So good at spotting the observers and gunning them down. He's truly got his own TvP to catch a pervert show. This is a weird push. It's 1 tank and 6 Marauders, guys. I guess there's a few more Marauders and Marines behind. But he catches him so out of position, and these Stalkers are in the open with Bio stimming from behind! Yes, the tank goes down, but he's going to catch a bunch of Stalkers. The Prism's going to fly over the army. This is a mess right now. And I think that's a good mess for BYUN. I think. Hold on. I may have spoken too soon. A lot of Stalkers died. They're very expensive units, which is why if he had Stalkers blinking after this, maybe this would be better for Hero. As it is, he's trying to warp in more Stalkers and Zealots on the front. The Colossus pairs up with those Zealots very well on the charge, but it seems like BYUN still has just a bit too much meat and potatoes behind. A lot of Marauders there. Marauders are the meat and potatoes of this matchup. Good Colossus pickups, but the Immortal gets volleyed down. I thought he'd save that. No, he almost loses the Colossus as well. He's got to juggle these Colossus back, man. Nice Colossus micro. We can dodge a lot of these Marauder projectiles, but with no more Zealots, it's tough. Colossus are there for ranged chip power. And you know what they need for that? 9 range, plus 2 range only now kicking in after all those fights. They also struggle really hard against Marauders. They do way more damage against Ghosts, Marines, Widowmines, light units. Against Marauders, they are very much, it's like poking someone in the face. Like, you know, someone pokes you in the forehead, you're like, ah. Doesn't really do real damage, but it's annoying. And that's how Marauders feel when a Colossus is hitting them. If the Colossus has a few attack upgrade advantages over the armor, it's a different story, but that was +1 versus +1 armor, so no real advantage there. Similar work account as the Zealot drop gets inside the main. There's a Viking. Sledge on the right side, famously annoying. The players always dropping on the high ground and the low ground, but I think BYUN cleans that up pretty well. Sends a few Marine Marauders to the natural as well. Zealot's not shift clicking on those. Does a supply drop and builds 4 depots right now. BYUN haphazard macro, but good enough, I think, considering the distractions he's dealing with and the fact that he killed the Prism. The Colossus are in the open, man. Those Colossus are in the open. This is a mostly Marauder force. The Marauders will struggle to deal with those Zealots. One Colossus goes down. If he could click that Reddit point Colossus, that's going to be worth it for BYUN. He does. The Prism's nowhere to be seen because the Prism just flew into his base and got killed by Vikings. And I think that's a good trade for BYUN because BYUN's got the numbers. He's also got a potential EMP here. Beautiful EMP. The Colossus lose their shields. They retreat to a Widow Mine. Oh, and that is massive. The Ghost pulls back from the Zealots around as well. Beautiful micro for BYUN, babysitting his most valuable unit. And guys, is this going to be BYUN clean sweeping Hero 3-0? You almost never see this. And this was not even Hero playing bad. I didn't look at this and go, look at Hero. He's made so many bad decisions in this series. This was good, solid play for Hero. This is the rare case where you see Hero getting 3-0'd because BYUN is just on fire and just playing more solid and more tight StarCraft than I was expecting. That's just really good play. And like I said, BYUN has been beating Clem a bunch. Recently, he's been getting ahead against Clem, and then Clem hits him in 3 places at once and like out multitasks him and just breaks him down. And then like just when BYUN finally stabilizes and you're like, okay, he's going to get to the position where he's good. And then DTs come in and another Prism hits his main and another Disruptor hits him from the front. And you can kind of see like the mechanical difference between BYUN's Terran and Clem's Protoss. But he still has been getting ahead against Clem. And before Clem figured out that multitasking, it felt like BYUN was kind of bullying him. Now BYUN bullying Hero as well. I'm very impressed with BYUN's TvP right now. This is awesome to see. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that series. If you do want to go the extra mile to support the channel, don't forget to check out my Patreon. Links up on screen as well as down below in the description. We appreciate you guys so very much. A special thanks to Neverless, the Leviathan of the channel. And of course, our conductors of the D-Town Express, Peden, Dragosar, Oko H, and everybody else here on the Wall of Bacon, past, present, and future. Appreciate you all very much from the bottom of my heart. Have a great weekend. Have a great day. We'll catch you next time. Goodbye and good night.